Welcome to Clean and Sober Stoner.
Something about this is kind of a demo. You're just hoping to get some gigs in the Bay Area. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what ended up happening. We were just like, we got to just at least get something. We had some recordings on like the laptop for a little while, and we're like, I don't know if this is good enough to like send to venues, and we just want to get some shows around the Bay Area, play at the Golden Bowl or something like that, and that's what we were hoping for. Yeah, and then we started looking.
We just had too many songs that were like, no, we need to record this one.
Yeah. Yeah, we had like a list of like, I don't know, freaking 25, 30 songs or something like that. And we just had to choose like 4 of them or 5 of them. How many did we do? 6. 6 of them. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you end on Little Lady.
Yeah. That was actually the first song that I did. It was just at first it was just Julia and I, and then we were like jamming on Little Lady for a while there. So that one's the tightest one I think that we have.
Okay. Your self-effacement is incredible to me. So was the mission accomplished? Did you end up getting 1 or 2 gigs?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had to say no to a few of them. Yeah. Which sucked, but a lot.
We had a pretty busy summer for sure.
Yeah.
I remember because I follow both accounts, and so you were losing your voice, Bianca, there for a while. You like quit talking to human beings if it wasn't for work or interviews, right?
It was really difficult. Yeah, it was not just that. It was like, there was COVID happening. Like, I think all of us got COVID at some point. And I hate to say it, but like it does affect your voice. So some people, it does affect your singing voice. My voice hasn't been the same since, but I was able to get through the record, just being able to sing the way that I'm. Yeah, but I feel like definitely it sounded different before I recorded the record. But this is where it's at. And I've been recovering since, And so I told myself I wasn't going to talk to anyone for a while, just so that I could, recover again.
I know. I read that. I went, well, I won't ask now. And then we were going to set up, and then Kali went to Africa?
Yes. Yeah, I work in HIV research in East Africa. So I was there when Sammy was finishing recording our record. So, and then Julia also had a baby. So
right.
Different times.
There were so many delays.
Yeah, we actually played our first show when I was 8 months pregnant on Halloween. And I was wearing like a full body skeleton costume.
Do you mean Halloween, this past Halloween?
No. 2020.
No, the year before.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was the last one. That was like a year ago. Yeah.
I'm keeping up with you folks. It's like almost impossible. Just because things seem to happen kind of fast. So the album gets released. A bunch of us on the Doom charts review it. So did your lives kind of change a little bit more than you expected?
I don't know about, I think that it just really motivated us to just keep going.
Okay.
Because I don't think we expected to get that many shows, and then like the feedback we were getting from people, and then just seeing all like the different people that were listening to it on different parts of the world, and like some countries that I never even heard of. I was like, how did they get a hand of this, and it's, It feels really good to hear comments after the show that they liked it. I think it was surprising because I guess maybe I have a self-deprecating nature or something like that. But it was very, it really encourages us. It really inspires us to like make something new and just continue going. Yeah.
Yeah, we were having trouble getting shows, which is why we tried to record the album, because we would send people like iPhone recordings. Yeah, look us for your show. No. Yeah, so that wasn't working.
When I listened to the album from beginning to end, song to song, this doesn't sound like it's just a side project, and this doesn't sound. I hear professional, possibly classically trained. Am I right? Am I in the ballpark on that at all?
Well, so I'm a classically trained percussionist, at least
I knew it.
school and a little bit of college. Then I don't know, moved to apartments and couldn't play the drums anymore. I was a drummer for a long time, but started playing guitar. So I've been around like theory and composition and arrangement for a while.
I don't know if you know them. There's another band from your neck of the woods called Blood Lemon. They're a three-piece. They do kind of Riot Girl stuff, but they have a couple songs that it's like they think if your record collection has Sleep and Slater Kinney Band, then you'd love this band. And she's classically trained. She pulls this Meg White thing, occasionally, and then all of a sudden she gets this feral look in her eyes and boom, just and so I'm listening to your drum work like religiously for a while, and it's like your decisions, you're playing the drums very musically and with a lot of nuance, and then all of a sudden from out of nowhere you get the skull pounding, head banging power. What is your writing process? How do you put this stuff together? How do you write this stuff?
Oh man.
Sure.
Bianca.
She's the mastermind. She starts it all. She's got, I don't know, amazing head. I don't know what's going on in there, but there's like just music and creativity pouring out of Bianca constantly. And we're just trying to catch up, I feel like. And so she's always like, recording something on the drive on the way to band practice and then playing it to us, and it's like her literally humming a guitar riff or something.
Yeah.
And then we go over there. Or on the flip side, she'll just write an entire song with lyrics and everything. And she records it and just brings it to us like fully baked. So it's kind of both. But it's all kind of starts with her.
Okay, Bianca, what's your background? I don't feel like you're a self-taught musician that's undisciplined. Everything that I hear sounds very, like you've put in the 40 hours a week of practice and scales and arpeggios and da-da-da. Am I right?
Well, no. Well, let's see. I've been playing music my entire life, basically. But I have like such ADD when it comes to like an instrument. So I can't really just focus on one. So if you come to my house, I have a lot of different world instruments. I have like, a handpan, a sitar, a hurdy-gurdy, and like a duduk or whatever. I think it's called duduk. Mizmar.
I don't even
An oud. Yeah, so all these things, like I've always wanted to put everything together, but I'm because I can't make up my mind. That means I'm mediocre at all of them. You know what I mean? I have like this Amazonian flute. And then my singing, specifically, I did have guitar lessons when I was like 11, but then I stopped it like pretty soon after a couple of years. So I'm like just a big power chord heavy person. When it comes to singing, I'm self-taught. I do have some vocal lessons, and later on, like in my I don't know. I ended up finding this woman called Tatiana Cernovska, who is a Bulgarian folk singer. And and that's kind of where I first started. And then I started off getting extensive lessons from Sonia Drakulic from Stella Mara. And I sang with her at a festival, and we're good friends. And she's also an amazing Balkan singer. And so I got some Bulgarian and Turkish lessons from her. And I went to school for audio engineering, and I did have some music theory classes for sure. And just in general, just all the inspirations were just like from world music and just trying to like, I don't know, it's just all up in there.
When I first met Bianca, she told me before we even jammed, I think she was telling me she wanted to like balance a sword on her head while playing and like belly dancing or something. I was like, what?
That's right.
Who is this?
I have there's a lot going on there, but I have I've been belly dancing since I was 14. So a lot of like I've been just sort of around a lot of Turkish and Arabic music, and so it's just in my head. And I always thought like it would be really cool to incorporate like all of the stuff that I love from listening to stoner rock and like just trying to put it together and kind of making it up as I go. Yeah.
So, do you perform with the sword on your head and belly dancing and power chords yet?
Yeah.
I haven't brought my sword in yet to do it, but it's so easy. I swear to God, it's gonna be so easy. Don't want me to.
Just when you get video, please do me a favor, send it to me, and I can put it up on the website. Okay, so I'm kind of right. So you didn't start out. At what point did you start getting the intensive vocal training?
Oh man. See, here's the thing is that like since I've always been attracted to Balkan style music, or not just Balkan, I mean like Turkish and Arabic and just even like African, I've just been listening to everything across the board. And somewhere along the line, like I get really inspired by if I can find like an old traditional like dirty record or whatever of like this old lady singing some songs over the hills on the mountaintop or something like that, like I don't know, there's something that happens within me and I just started singing it and it just came out naturally and I just channeled it. Maybe it's in my blood and it just I apparently when I went to Tatiana, she was just like, wow, you're natural at this, you should keep going. So it just kind of came out and now I just needed to fine tune it. And that was about maybe 4, 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. And then I started doing throat singing with Soraya. He's also a teacher, Enrique Ugalde.
So you are doing throat singing on your own now?
I haven't done it in this band yet. I do have some songs that I was thinking about doing it with. I just need it's really rough on the vocals and it's rough on the vocals. I need to get better at it. I need to fine tune my kagira. What?
Okay.
Bless you.
Oh my God. It's a style of Mongolian Tibetan Mongolian singing.
Okay. Sammy, kind of the same questions for Sammy on the guitar playing.
Yeah.
Like, how long have you been playing? Where did you learn how to play like that?
So there was always a guitar around my house growing up. Like my mom could play like John Denver songs and my dad would like sing Jim Croce and they could all just like play cowboy chords at the campfire. And so I would always pick it up and just kind of bang on it. And eventually it was like fumbling through Green Day songs. That's when I started like really studying percussion and, got solid on music theory and really focused on that for a long time. But like playing guitars, like big punk rock power chords was always like my fun escape from like the real work of percussion, I guess. But eventually it's, you move into an apartment and you can't set up a drum kit anymore. It's like I have all this musical energy that needs to go somewhere. So I've just always been playing. And I think I heard like my friend Bobby in middle school let me Metallica's Ride the Lightning. And that just like cracked open this world of like, what are these shreddy noises? And I was like a little afraid of it at first, but it was always in the back of my head as like something that just really gripped me. It's just been like just grinding away ever since. And I was also, I totally self-taught on the guitar. But just played a lot of tabs, listened to a lot of incredible guitarists and tried to like emulate, how did they play that lick? What is that? Spent a lot of time just like slowing down note for note, trying to transcribe like Bill Steer solos. Like I love death metal noodles and they love,
this is Sammy is incredible. Like we brought Sammy in and we're just like, yes, like this is sounding amazing. I'll play like a heavy riff or whatever, and then Sammy's just all up and down the neck, just like making it just that certain spice that we really, really needed, because it wasn't enough, just being like heavy power chords and just, some heavy licks and stuff like that. It needed noodles. I needed noodles, so Sammy's just like makes us sound good.
I was really, really fortunate kind of during the pandemic with everyone working from home. I was in a job I really didn't care for, and it ended up turning into a lot of like subsidized guitar playing, like during this mute myself and run some scales here. So
Yeah, I was in a similar thing, but it was subsidized Skyrim playing when it first hit. Okay, Kali, bass player to bass player, how did you how do you approach your instrument? What I hear on the album, it's not simple. So it's not like you're doing 1 4 5 chords. You're not doing 5 bar blues, and you're not playing root fifth. So what's your background? Yeah, how did you learn how to play the way you play?
Yeah, so I started taking bass lessons when I was 14. I took them 5 years with, and I feel really fortunate. The background of my bass teacher, he was all over the place, and we did classical to funk to metal to punk rock, and he put me in all these different types of bands and situations. And so I feel really fortunate to have kind of a big breadth of background. And this is the first metal band I've played in, so I think that's kind of, that background has kind of leaked in certain places, and sometimes it's worked and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, that's generally my approach.
Well, I love your playing. It's not the standard typical stoner doom bass playing. And also it feels to me like Sammy and Bianca are giving you room, like you're like, do they do the say, okay, go ahead and take this session, and then you just go, brrr, you do your thing, and then back to the main riff. Is that how it goes?
Kind of a little bit, but I think like with doom metal, when I think about what the bass's job is, I feel like it's there to be this driving force and to keep the progression going. So like Sammy can do a noodles and Bianca can do a melody, and then it's really fun to find like your small space where you can just like move the progression and like drive the next like big part or big hit. And so that's what I like to do and like to find.
Are there any doom bass players in particular that you glommed onto to, pick up a little bit about what they're doing?
A little bit, yes. I think most recently we just played with Year of the Cobra, and I've been thinking about her a lot as we've been jamming with a bunch of new songs, because what I really love about what she does and what the type of bass lines I've always been really attracted to are melodic ones, and she has this like really amazing way of making it really heavy but also melodic at the same time. And so yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Are you referring to Amy Tung Berrysmith?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's so crazy. We just met her, and it turns out that she's like good friends with my uncle. So it's just really, yeah.
Oh, really?
The show at bottom of the hill.
Seriously?
Yeah. We're somehow like, it's a small world. Michael, who was in a band called Anal Mucus back in the 80s. Yeah. Big punk band.
Amy's an icon.
Yeah.
She plays bass in ways that most bass players can't even wrap their head around.
Yeah.
Extremely melodic.
Yeah.
She does a lot of intervals and a little bit of chord work.
Yeah.
And it's like this power pop with a stoner doom thing. Okay. I like it when I can hear the influence and I go,
Yeah.
So we put the whole thing together. I've got to ask y'all, why doom? I think I wrote in my review that there's a lot of bangles in your music. There's a lot of Bananarama. There's attention to harmonies. You've got the Mid-Eastern stuff. What is about doom in particular that this is your medium of expression?
Oh man, isn't that just like the natural progression that you go from like punk and then eventually you age into doom? I don't know, but yeah, that's a trajectory in which you could go, but or biking, or yeah. So I honestly, I kind of started off with punk, and then I started, as a kid, and then it just kind of progressed into all these different like world music, like I said. And then the thing about stoner rock that I really like, I started off originally like Melvin's Sleep, and just like, the real foundation, Black Sabbath, all of that stuff. And then it just started to progress. And there's something that I notice about doom is that I love to just get into the present moment. And if there's something and a tool that can get me to stay in my present moment and get closer to truth, like, I'm sorry, but I'm a little spiritual, if that makes any sense. And so when I hate that word spiritual because it has all these like indications of little bit, but
Especially in the Bay Area, right?
yeah, exactly. And what I mean by that is that like any tool that kind of has me access a really deep part of myself and like has me kind of close my eyes and just not necessarily leave, get lost or escape, but actually make me go back inside and just kind of like, nod to it. That's that element, that like sort of feeling, it feels good to me. And so if I can actually get that with like some heavy riffs and I could get to that place of like flow, I feel like that's what it's all about. And at any point in time where I feel like I'm resisting or I'm trying to like make it sound good, like it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be like, like that. If you're just like, kind of nodding your head to it and getting like really into it, it can be simple, and it can have like a really nice melody to it and just kind of channeling whatever it is that's coming through in the moment, as it's coming up. And at any point in time in my songwriting, if I'm like, if I get caught in like the egos, like, is this going to sound, am I going to be like doing like a good, like justice? If is this going to sound doomy to me, then I'm losing it. I'm losing what that means, what that is. You know what I mean? Like I start thinking about whether or not people would think this is stoner rock or doom. Am I in the genre right now? It's just like, no, this just feels good to play.
I just really like fuzz pedals.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Since you opened that particular door,
Yeah.
what's in your arsenal? What are your major effects?
I think the biggest ones for me right now, the Earthquaker devices, is Umitas, the Wata signature. Love Boris, love Wata, love Earthquaker. Also got an electronic audio experiments of OXEAE. It's like they did it with obstructures. It's this really weird, like stainless steel fuzz. That's just wild. That and then the Earthquaker life pedal. Those are like my main dart here. But I've got a whole spaceship going.
She really does.
Yeah.
I like my ODB3.
Nice. One of the things that I noticed though is, at least on your studio album, you don't seem to have an over-reliance on pedals and effects. You do, like, your voice isn't always natural. You've got some processing going into it. It's just so tastefully done. So do you just lay down like 2 or 3 different versions, pick the one you like, or is that what rehearsal's about? Which I'm interrupting, by the way.
No, you're not. Yeah, I actually do have a vocal pedal. And every single song has about 4 or 5 like effects to it that I'm like stomping during the shows. I'm tap dancing a lot during my shows, and I'm going up and down and I'm hitting delay and hitting double and hitting harmony. Yeah, so live it's a little, hard, but during recording, I've laid down several tracks. I've laid some tracks down with Pulley too, and then so basically, I think what was it? Sacrum had I think it was Sacrum and Gold Shields had like 8 layers of like tracks, like vocal tracks, maybe even 10.
Okay.
Yeah, for chanting and stuff like that. And I just kind of record all those tracks. And I basically just told Greg from Earhammer, like, I just told him to just drown it in reverb and delay. So, yeah. He had I forget what he used, but yeah. Greg was Greg's great.
Here's the
Greg's yeah. He knows
And then
for sure.
And then, Conley, you're doing some background vocal work as well?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Any thoughts about doing an entire song?
I mean, that would be cool, but I think
Yeah.
I'm just curious. The audience, they have a bunch of questions.
But happy to support you. Definitely.
Did I hear you right that you have like 40 more songs that you could?
It just keeps coming and it's very overwhelming. So what happens is that I will record something on my phone, like just walking down the street or whatever, where something will come up while I'm driving. I'm like, oh, or even in my dream, like I'll wake up, I'll have a dream song and then I'll wake up and then I'll be like, and then later on I would like listen to it and I'm literally like, I was like, I can't even understand what that is. So once that happens, then I will put it, to guitar and then I will show the ladies what's going on and Julia will put some drums to it and then we'll just sort of collaborate on how to make it sound better. She'll write her bass lick, she'll write her like whatever elements and cool atmosphere that we really need.
Well, one of the best things about being in a band with all women is that we have a spreadsheet.
Oh
for
yeah,
all of our music, and it's very well organized.
Yeah, there's a spreadsheet with columns of like, does this need a solo? Does it, is the solo done? Is the lyrics done? Is the melody done? Stuff like that. But no, there's a lot on there, and it's not even on the sheet. That are just like in my phone and my computer, and I'm just like trying to get through them.
We were actually just joking in our practice today that we have almost a whole nother album ready.
Yeah, we've got a lot of songs to work on.
Yeah.
And it's been difficult because of how many shows we've been playing recently in the past couple months. That is just like we've been just playing our album, our set that we know that tight, and so we had to take a little bit of a break in October or end of September and a little bit of October just to like have time to practice some of the stuff that we've been working on.
Well, so we have a couple of songs we're hoping to play, new ones in our next couple shows here. Trying to work them into the set. So come on out.
That's absolutely awesome. One last question. Doom and some of the most beautifully symphonic, subtle, nuanced doom. How does that resonate with Bouncy House, which I saw on your Instagram feed, where you're writing this epic dark doom stuff, very serious, and then you're posting Instagram videos in a bouncy house.
I'm just a weird.
And then I think there's something on Instagram, the adventures of, is there Moonbeam?
Oh, Moonbeam's my kitty. Just best. So much. Yeah, I like to do a lot of like, I'm just silly. I also voice act and I like to just make little skits and stuff. I've got like a Catwoman diary skit where I'm Catwoman. I like to cosplay for fun. Yeah, I do a lot of different stuff. Yeah.
Don't mean to embarrass.
Boner rocket.
But it's part of the whole package. And I think it leads to the playfulness that I heard on the album. It doesn't sound like you're trying too hard to nail the right thing at the right time and get it. There's a lightness and a dexterity to the whole thing. And one observation, because through the whole thing, Bianca obviously is doing most of the writing and most of it. But when I go to your Bandcamp, it's just all music written by Snakemother.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's because I'm bringing like the meat and potatoes of like what's happening in regards to like melodies and stuff. Like there's still the elements in which like it's not like I'm telling everybody like, hey, do this. Like they can bring in however to make it sound good, and like yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. So we definitely are writing it together once I bring the meat and potatoes and the melody. There are times where there's like parts of the structure where it's like this needs to happen this way because like my singing needs to be in this kind of tune or this range is a little bit too low for me. You know what I mean? So yeah, we all collaborate on like making it sound good for sure. Even though like the foundation has been written out. Like there's still suggestions and comments. It's like, I think we should they were playing this too long, or we're playing this too whatever. Yeah. Where we just kind of,
It's definitely collaborative.
yeah.
The thing I really love about playing with them is like we try everything. Like if someone has an idea, we try it out. And a lot of times like, that's awesome, leave it in, keep doing it. What was that? I want to play off of that. And so we'll all just like bounce things off of each other and come up with these parts that are so much cooler than any of us could have like individually written. So it's really fun.
On the flip side, though, I also feel like none of us are afraid to say like we don't like something, or we're not like hurting each other.
That and I hope that spirit stays. I think there's a lot more to this band than I can tease into right now. I really think you've put out an incredible album. I wish nothing but the best for you folks. I am definitely one of your world's biggest fans. I have bought the album. I've given it away. I posted. I'm just in awe of it. And after the interview, I'll admit I'm just a little bit more in awe. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you were hoping that I bring up?
When's our next show?
Oh, gee.
When is your next show?
Thank you for asking. We have a show this Monday, or 2 Mondays from now, right? October 23rd. 23rd. October 23rd at Kill.
Okay.
And so I'll go, yeah.